So I'm headed to my reading in Nashville, and I still have absolutely no idea who I'm going to be reading. Even though I'm going to a new place, my process is still fundamentally the same. I don't want to know anything about who I'm reading until they open the door.
Tyler, what's happening? How are you? I'm Brett.
Great
Good to meet you.
Brett.
Welcome to the record label.
Wow.
Here we are. My name is Brett Eldredge. I am a country music singer. I live here in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. Welcome to Music City. I've had several hits on the radio, but I don't know if he likes country. We're gonna find out today. If he's not a country fan, Tyler, we're gonna make you a country fan.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be
glad
here.
to have you here, man.
So, are you interested in a medium reading?
Yeah?
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
All right. The only question I have is, do you want to know everything?
Why not?
Sure. Okay, well, let's do it.
Am I a skeptic? Yes, but I'm a very curious person. I'm gonna give it my best shot to see if it's the real deal. What's the worst that can happen,
All right, so I will scribble, and I'll just let you know what kind of pops in, and we'll go from there.
All right. There's a certain individual that I would love to connect with today. They got to see me start to become successful, but not to where it's really gotten to the, singing in front of 50,000 people and crazy stuff like that. They're such a big part of my life to be able to get in touch with them and, know that they're getting to see all that.
Immediately, one of the main energies that's coming through is like a very paternal type of a figure, not just for you, but like for family. He comes across as being like an older gentleman, and family is everything to him. He is making me feel like he's one of the big reasons why I'm here. Like, I have the chills. That's how strong of a man this is, so I like that. Let's see, we've got that there. When he comes through, he's also having me reference to Mr. Fix-It, Mr. Fix-It. So he's acknowledging, like, fixing things. I feel like if something's wrong, he's the first person I go to want to fix this. Yeah, funny enough, he's showing me a symbol of, like, a car. There's a reference, like, changing a tire. It's like a random thing, but he's having me talk about the instance where we change a tire. He's putting a special highlight on that, though, for some reason.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my grandfather on my other side.
On the other side, okay.
His name was Shirley. He had a car service gas station for 40 years.
Right, yeah.
And so that's what he,
yeah.
when he said that, I was like, oh, wow, that's right. I mean, that's what he did. He worked on cars, and as kids, he'd always help us figure out how to change the oil and tell us how many pounds of air pressure you're supposed to put in your tires, and like pretty wild.
That's awesome.
Pretty wild. You hit that right on the head.
Very cool.
I'm still in my head, like sitting there turning like, he's making this up, but how did he just hit that? How did he just hit that? And I'm shocked. Pretty amazing. I was talking about somebody that I really want to get in touch with without trying to tell any details. And that was my grandpa Shirley, and that gave me chills. That was a good feeling.
There's reference to a blood sugar issue, and then I'm stabbing myself in the stomach, so that usually references like diabetes. There's an acknowledgement of this.
My grandfather had diabetes.
Right, okay. So let's see. Okay. It's having me acknowledge where he lived, and he's talking about being stubborn as to where he was living.
Stubborn's the right word.
Yes. And when this comes through, there's a feeling of like, I want to stay where I'm at in my home. I don't want to have to go to a hospital to have to go and do this. But the acknowledgement is that he is coming through in more of an apologetic sense, because there would have been a need ultimately to go to a hospital, but he would have fought this.
Didn't go to a hospital.
Right.
And didn't die in a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a feeling on his end that he wants to be known that he has closure, but he gives me the kind of impression where I feel like family might not. And the way that I want to describe this is he didn't need anybody to hold his hand when he died. He didn't. He wanted to go alone. He didn't want family to have to see this process.
The way he died was most likely had a heart attack because he died alone. I think he had a new cell phone. He tried to call family and he couldn't figure it out or something. Then he passed on his own.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah. So I think everybody was always kind of like, oh, what if I could have been there? Well, nobody.
Right.
Nobody, and that's tough for everybody to the what ifs of, going out by yourself. It's not a fun way to go, and everybody had to live with that and said, what if we answered the phone? Well, you can't change that now.
No. And when he came through, I mean, there was such an acknowledgement of him being okay with passing away alone, and ultimately, that it really was okay on his end, and that he had closure with how he passed, and therefore he wanted all family to have closure with how he passed too.
Yeah.
Truly.
There's no way he could know this. When he started talking about my grandfather's death and he was at home alone, I was destroyed by that. So I wanted to get closure on that as well. And what Tyler said makes me feel pretty good.
Your grandfather, he's so immensely proud of your career. I know this might sound a little strange, but he is like taking a little bit of credit in a bit of a strange way. I know it's funny.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he's somehow, in some way, like kind of taking credit in part because he feels like he, again, was trying to teach these like useful, resourceful things.
That sounds about right. My grandfather, Shirley, he was the biggest storyteller I've ever met. That's why I'm a songwriter. When I want to tell a story, I want to tell it like my grandfather told her. I want to tell it with such imagery. He'd remember like conversations he had with somebody when he was 10.
Right.
And he's sitting here, an 85-year-old man telling these stories, and you're like, how in the world does he do that? There's just certain characters out there. And
yep.
Surely Eldredge was one of them. That gave me a good feeling of I'm really not getting up there by myself every day. You know, there really could be something that's helping me through all this and, you know, being carried with me every day on stage. You're a talented fella.
Oh, thank you.
I've been very curious for a long time, and
yeah.
you definitely got it.
Oh, thank you. You had a lot
Look at
going
that. That looks like one of my lyric sheets. All my secrets are written right here, everybody. This is what my brain looks like.
Exactly.
Can you believe that? Tyler got it all figured out right here. I still don't understand what just happened. I'm trying to get in touch with my grandfather. That's pulling that right to the forefront for me. You know, that's what carries me to that stage every night. And I'm so grateful that he got me in touch. That was crazy. I was very much skeptical before this, but he nailed several things that I mean, it's making me emotional thinking about it, but it is a, wow. He nailed my grandfather spot on. He was the main person I wanted to get in touch with today, so we'll have to do it some more.